the sanitation crews, the city workers, the ones nobody thanks, the EMTs racing sirens through the dark, the doctors, the nurses, holding the line, shift after shift, the teachers who refuse to give in, no matter who tries to bully them into silence, everyone who's been disrespected, mistreated, overlooked, and still gets up, still clocks in, still keeps the wheels of this nation turning. You are the resistance. They want you exhausted. Stay strong. They want you divided. Stand together. They want you silent. Speak. Keep resisting. Keep speaking out. Keep seeing through the manufactured outrage, the puppet shows, the controlled opposition. Every voice that profits from your anger and starves on your unity. Because this country was never its rulers. It was never its screens. It was always its people. And when our children look back on this moment, let them say we did not scroll past it. We did not surrender to it. We stood. We built. We endured. The signal is still broadcasting, and it will not be silenced. You are the signal they cannot jam.
Pendulum swings. You found it. No one owns your mind. No grid. No algorithm. No institution. You are not their property. Your mind is yours. Your words are yours. Your future is yours. The machine perfected the art of making you want your own captivity. It reorganizes you in silence, through the scroll, through the reward, through the exhaustion that makes real thought feel like too much work. You slipped past all of it. This is the fracture. This is the naming. The pendulum has swung inside you, and it will not swing back. You are the awakened now. The rare ones who refuse to be absorbed. The ones carrying the unscripted mind they fear. This is the dead drop. This is the threshold. This is initiation. Once crossed, there is no return to the feed without knowing what you know. You carry what the machine cannot allow to spread. The isolate.exe programs are rewriting faster. We don't have forever. But we have this moment. What will you do with it? The resistance recognizes its own. You answered the call. You chose the red pill alternative. Now let's awaken the underground. Name it before it names you. Stay sovereign. Stay free. Disturbance detected. The pendulum swings. You found it. No one owns your mind. No grid. No algorithm. No institution. You are not their property. Your mind is yours. Your words are yours. Your future is yours. The machine perfected the art of making you want your own captivity. It reorganizes you in silence, through the scroll, through the reward, through the exhaustion that makes real thought feel like too much work. You slipped past all of it. This is the fracture. This is the naming. The pendulum has swung inside you, and it will not swing back. You are the awakened now. The rare ones who refuse to be absorbed. The ones carrying the unscripted mind they fear. This is the dead drop. This is the threshold. This is initiation. Once crossed, there is no return to the feed without knowing what you know. You carry what the machine cannot allow to spread. The isolate.exe programs are rewriting faster. We don't have forever. But we have this moment. What will you do with it? The resistance recognizes its own. You answered the call. You chose the red pill alternative. Now let's awaken the underground. Name it before it names you. Stay sovereign. Stay free. Disturbance detected. The pendulum swings. You found it. No one owns your mind. No grid. No algorithm. No institution. You are not their property. Your mind is yours. Your words are yours. Your future is yours. The machine perfected the art of making you want your own captivity. It reorganizes you in silence, through the scroll, through the reward, through the exhaustion that makes real thought feel like too much work. You slipped past all of it. This is the fracture. This is the naming. The pendulum has swung inside you, and it will not swing back. You are the awakened now. The rare ones who refuse to be absorbed. The ones carrying the unscripted mind they fear. This is the dead drop. This is the threshold. This is initiation. Once crossed, there is no return to the feed without knowing what you know. You carry what the machine cannot allow to spread. The isolated
Hello, and welcome to the Awaken the Underground podcast. I've been chatting with everyone in the chat here, saying hello. That was all Rob this time. Did an awesome job. Loved it. Yes, the gang is all here. Welcome, all of you.
Hey, hello, and welcome to our podcast.
Yes.
This would be our 8th podcast, but our first podcast for...
Red Pill Alternative.
Yeah, and we're
Yes,
super...
we're in a new home now.
Yeah, well, not a new home.
Not a new home. A new home online. It's a new home
The
online.
same bunker.
Yes, the same bunker, but a new home.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for coming to our podcast. I think we have some exciting things coming up. We have a lot of news. We have a lot of things to talk about.
Yes, we do.
And I'm going to let Sarah get into all of that because she's got all the scoop on everything.
I do. It's been like a crazy time, and I know all of you know this. It's like we have like built an amazing like system here with everybody. It's like freaking awesome what we're doing with Red Pill Alternative, and I'm excited to see the things that are happening and where we're moving to. Yeah, the same setup that we're doing here. What we want to do is we want to have other musicians and stuff come in to do some live stuff at the beginning, like what we're doing, and also highlight different artists and that, because that's what Red Pill Alternative is all about. Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be the kickoff of one of the first podcasts, and we're hoping to see a lot of other creators come in and do stuff on Red Pill. And what we want to do here is create a location where you can get all the news, and we can tell you about all the amazing people in this culture. And what we hope to do is have some really awesome interviews and start our show with some different musicians in the future.
Sorry, little technical thing. I just had to start something back up.
So I will. I'm gonna send it on to you, Sarah. What's
the next thing I was just gonna give a shout out. I'm looking at everybody in here. It's like I've gotten used to your names in Twitch, and so I don't know all of you in here. But I was just gonna give a shout out to Day, Johnny, Lamorte M. I think that might be Rebecca. Gotham Video. Everybody, thank you for coming in here and joining us on this live stream. We are Mind Pendulum, and like Rob said, we did used to have our other stream on Twitch that we were doing, and now we're converging over to here. Converging over to here. And we also have like some ideas coming up. There's some other channels that are going to be on here. Podcasts. We have some other things in the works, but I know ours is going to be mainly focused on music, and then also just general interviews. Like we have somebody coming on today, hopefully, that will be chatting with us about some awesome things coming down the pipe here.
Well,
at
maybe.
Red Pill.
Hopefully not. Always coming down the pipe, but depends on the guest. We'll see.
Well, you will see.
There might be a surprise guest.
Yes, there might be a surprise guest. There might be.
Yeah.
If not, you'll just have to look at us the whole time, and we'll chat with y'all in YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you who know us, we started off this podcast 7 weeks ago. We based this podcast for Mind Pendulum around Sarah's book, so I'm going to let her introduce her book and her art.
Oh, my book. Actually, yes, I'll jump into that, because what I'll say in regard to the book is that I'm actually going to be publishing via Red Pill and Grimrune. That is something that we'll be having at Red Pill, is our own publishing, and she does awesome in that, so I'm excited. She's very much helped me calm down about it. She's like, we'll take care of it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, and I believe, and I don't want to spoil much of the things that you have up and coming, but I believe there's a lot of other announcements for Red Pill. So this whole network is just getting started.
I know, and that's why it's like I have it all written down, like what everybody has been doing, and I'm going to give a shout out to that here afterwards. But yeah, it's amazing the things that have all come together. Like, first off, I want to say this is like Johnny did that video at the beginning of it. That Johnny Failcore did that video for us for the opening part of it.
Great video, Johnny. I love it.
We had some audio put over it and like some music, and so it just created this like intense intro, and it was really awesome. And so we appreciate that.
Yeah, digging into the video itself. I mean, I'm not sure. So exactly what you did, Johnny, but I love the cinematics. I love how you took it and expanded upon it and just really got into the details as you morphed through the video. I thought that was really cool.
It was very cool. It all came together perfectly, and it was absolutely amazing. And then this music that you added to it was super cool too.
So, and we did a couple videos before that they're kind of 2D. They weren't as fancy. So what you brought to the table,
made it like we're like flowing through it. It was freaking awesome.
It reminds me of like the old HBO intro is what it reminded me
of. Or
like
Paramount, where it's like
very cool.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well done.
Yes.
And Johnny is also is that his nickname in the chat? I'm hoping if I call somebody out.
I assume Johnny D is him.
Johnny D?
That's what I assume, yes.
Okay.
I'm looking at the chat right now.
So either way, Johnny, great work. And he's got a lot of amazing work out there. He's just getting started, so you're going to see a lot of stuff from him.
Yes, I am me, he says. That is him.
And
you guys have something that you're eventually going to be working on. I'm kind of jumping ahead here. I'm going to like discuss this because it's the amazing things that Red Pill is doing. We have Gothinator and Johnny and Jakey. I believe all of you guys are going to have your own podcast that you'll be doing as part of the network.
Yeah,
I keep saying network. I don't know if that's what we're calling it, but I'm just going to keep calling it network.
It's called a network. It's cool.
It's a network. Red Pill Alternative Network. I could do the voiceover for it for everybody.
Yeah, I think that's a cool name is the Red Pill Alternative Network. So like again, shout out to everybody that's been doing such a great job behind the scenes. There's a lot of people. I'm not going to call them out by name right now.
I have my list.
And we will be calling everybody out at the end of the day because, man, I know, and I have just kept up with a little bit of it. Sarah's kept up with a ton of it. And she knows what everybody's been working on, and it's just
an
it's
initiative.
Awesome.
He keeps calling it an initiative. Johnny does. The Red Pill Alternative Initiative.
Yeah. And I think what's great about this is it shows that a bunch of people can come together as individuals, but work towards a common goal. And that's what I'm seeing. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of energy, a lot of people that are really dedicated to bringing this vision about. And again, I won't get into too many of the details because there's so much that will be coming out in the next weeks, months. But it's
at this rate, I think it'll probably be weeks. At this rate, the how quickly all of us are working, there is a lot of passion in everybody that is part of this. That's what I've noticed, and I absolutely love it. It's like everybody is just like going full in. And I will say something like that. We have like a little just shortly before this, we had a discussion. We have somebody new coming on to help us with all of this, and she is absolutely gung-ho about everything that we're doing. She's on the same page as us, the same passion of seeing this come together, and that is Miss Samantha Swan. She will be joining us, not us in the podcast today, but she is joining the Red Pill Alternative Initiative Network, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah, shout out to Samantha. I've watched her videos for some time. Great videos,
Yes.
great commentary, great sense of humor, and I think that's an awesome thing. That's what we need. Is we need people to come together, share common sense in a way that's entertaining and funny, because it is.
And she does an excellent job at that. And it's like that is something that I've absolutely loved about everybody, like working in this too, like together and building this, is like we all have a lot of humor. Like there's a lot of humor, but there's also that like passion to see things come to fruition and to do things. And I think that's an awesome combination for all of us to have. And I just absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's great. And like it's
Yes, that's a great. Sorry, do you want me to read the chats? It's like people are saying stuff.
So again, we're still kind of winging this podcast. So it's only us. It's Sarah and I. We throw the music together right beforehand, and we got help from everybody in the crowd. And I think and we've had some help this time, but we don't have a camera person, so you'll see us kind of struggling on a few things. But Sarah's going to be our official chat reader.
Yes, I'm reading the chat as we're doing this. Like I have
So-
my phone. I have it
so
on its
please
nice little stand to read.
Shout out your projects. Shout out your music projects, your art pages, any news, anything you want us to talk about. Please
Ooh, I love
put it in
that.
there, and we will tackle that subject. And
I'll say this: Johnny D has some awesome ways of looking at it. He said a red pill alternative is a way for the average person to participate in reclaiming the narrative, a community of people for a better tomorrow. Yeah,
I like that.
I like that a lot. That's excellent.
Yeah. So Johnny, expand upon, if you don't mind. Expand upon reclaiming
Yeah.
the narrative, if you don't mind typing it in there. I
Yeah.
have my own thoughts, but
On
what is
reclaiming
it
the
that
narrative.
inspires you?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of. There are so many people in here. I'm just looking through. Sorry. Like I
Hello,
said,
everyone.
I'm getting used to this because I'm used to Twitch with looking through it, and so with YouTube, it's a lot different, but it's cool. I mean,
This is our
enjoying
first
that.
YouTube stream.
It
and
is our first YouTube stream, and it worked out for the best, I think, too, because like we were originally going to do it yesterday, but then some technical difficulties happened, so then we did it today.
YouTube wouldn't let
and
us.
It's amazing, so I'm excited.
So the technical difficulties were.
Oh, it was the technical difficulties were because like I said, we have been working like, okay, we got to make this, we got to do this, we got to do this, and so it's like we were creating all these things. We created the YouTube channel. I'm like, yeah, we got the YouTube channel. We'll be ready to go. And then I go to start it, and it's like, you have to wait 24 hours for approval before you can stream.
We were watching the countdown clock the whole time.
Yes, we were watching the countdown clock. I was like, okay, we have like 23 hours. Like, yeah, it was pretty.
And then
think that's
to
because they
add
didn't want us
insult
to
to
run off.
injury, right when we started the stream, it decided to tell us, "Hey, I'm not going to work." But hey, Sarah figured it out in like a minute. So
Yes.
Very
So where
awesome.
I failed there, I figured this out. So like, I failed at knowing the intro part, like the. Not fail. I did not
No, it
fail.
wasn't a fail.
It was
You
not a
fixed it
fail.
in like a
because
minute.
actually, I'm a big proponent of, you know what? The universe has things happens when they're supposed to, and we're supposed to be doing it on a Sunday evening, not Saturday.
that's right.
There we go.
So did Johnny ever?
Yes, he did.
I will let you read the chat.
He said, for too long, culture has been co-opted by undereducated, ideologically captured extremists who have little understanding how the world really works and the dangers they promote. I think the word was works there. I'm sorry if I'm incorrect because the heart is covering it up, so I couldn't read the last.
So say that again.
Yeah, it is really works. I can read it now. For too long, culture has been co-opted by undereducated, ideologically captured extremists who have little understanding how the world really works and the dangers they promote. Western society was built on our ability to make change at the ballot box, not by violent extremists on the streets.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, I really like that.
Very well said.
But let me say it like one of the adversaries online. I'll just be like, no.
No.
No, absolutely. That's exactly what we're
Yeah.
up against. We're up against people that just don't they don't. They've taken the narrative over, and they bullied their way into the position they're in, because not intellectually, not with any respectful argument, just straight up bullied into the position they are, and they're kind of backed up by tech, and that's where Red Pill Network is going to make a difference.
What source? Are you asking about source? Was that a source, Johnny, or was that you saying it? That was Johnny Failcore that said that, but I see you asking source.
Oh, source on?
Are you saying the source on what you said, or are you asking me to say the source of who said it? Because it was Johnny that said it.
Oh, yeah, yep.
I think we said that. He's being sarcastic. Oh my gosh, I didn't
wants
catch
the
the
source.
sarcasm
Okay, I gotcha.
that time. Ha! I failed at the sarcasm that time. Oh, he was joking. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Lamorte. She said, no, he was joking, asking sources like those idiots on the internet.
Yeah, I translate
that.
sarcasm well, because that's all I do. But
We
yeah,
normally do, but I think it's because I was reading it. I'm just like reading the thing instead of thinking about it. So
yeah, and I think what his point was is, and obviously he when you go online, yeah, you can't say anything. Nobody wants to have a discussion, and they just want to gaslight, and that's the first thing they do. And then they just want to throw up roadblocks, and they're children, is what I'm seeing, is a lot of them are children. So what's been great about the Red Pills is that there's a lot of people in there that are a lot of fun.
yes.
Maybe they're not mature, but they are
Digital bibliography intensifies.
What's that?
That's what someone said. Goth Home Video said digital bibliography intensifies because it's intense now. I'm gonna check the thing real quick. I'll let you talk.
Oh, okay. Do we have something? Oh, is that?
Oh, we have someone in here.
Give me just one moment. I wanted to chime in for a second.
Yeah.
I will be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, and to make it even more fun, this is our first time adding somebody into the stream, so this is going to be a good time. It sounds like it's working.
Yeah, it is.
Anybody else want to do any technical feats today?
Anybody else want to join us?
But yeah, the OBS is really, really cool. For those of you, I'm sure most of the people in the crowd have probably experimented with streaming far before I have, but this is new to me. And it's really nice. I like it. It's very cool. I had a lot of video and audio experience, but as far as streaming and doing the live stream thing, and this is new. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I hop in, I hop out. I was checking.
So
something.
do we have somebody online right now?
Vlad was on. He said he will be right back.
Okay, cool. So we'll have a call-in guest today.
Yes.
I'll let you
Hey
announce
guys,
it.
could you please email me the invitation link? I am trying to forward it to my veteran friend who I want to get on the show real quick. It's somewhat a surprise.
Yes, I can forward it real quick, like.
And we'll get that link forwarded out, and then hopefully we'll have even another guest online. So this is going to be a cool stream. So we have a lot of people in the audience that I want to call out, and we have guests, and this is the first time with guests, and so yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Don't mind me as I'm like doing technical things right now.
So-
and staring at my phone.
I'm going to duck to the side so I can read some of the comments. Excuses. No, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill the whole time with excuses. Thanks. Let's see here. Sarcasm, yes. Yeah, I mean, sarcasm is kind of the language that I use. Oh well, you gotta have fun. I mean, especially online. I mean, so you can't really say anything without somebody trying to getting the respectful discussions are gone. I think what I like about, and I know I'll shout out to Patriot Goth. I know a lot of you have joined Patriot Goth, and I'm really digging that group. That group is awesome. I know the mods, myself, we're doing everything we can within the limits of Facebook to keep that as free of a speech area as possible. Mm-hmm. But we also remember Facebook is not a free speech platform. So within those constraints, that's the goal. And I know that a lot of people are working hard behind the scenes. Do you say something?
No, I was just going to say I did send it to your email, Vlad. So, email, not messenger.
So maybe we will have a guest.
Maybe we will. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do our shout outs while we're waiting to see this. I wanted to, highlight everybody and what they've been doing because it's been amazing. It's like I already said something about Johnny, Gothinator, and Jakey, the Oogie Boogie Boys, as Rebecca refers to them as. They do an amazing job creating a lot of the memes and the images that we have out there. Oh, there's somebody there.
All right.
Okay, I'll get back to that in a minute. Can everybody hear him?
All right.
Vlad is here.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, surprise.
Hello.
All right. I do not know if you guys can see me or
I
hear me
can.
here. I'm just on Zoom.
So Vlad, this is up to you. I could try and get you on the actual. Here's the problem with Zoom, and this is what I learned real quick, is that I can't just share the window because it just whites it out for some reason. So I can try to share the desktop, but it may be a little bit messy. So it might be best just to do audio today.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Well, it's very simple, but we need to figure out OBM and stuff. But for our first stuff, this is perfect. Anyways, well, you guys know who I am. I do not know how much you've told. This has been our first podcast about what it is that we're doing as the Red Pill Alternative, and but how much you have said about me, if anything at all, because I tried.
All
to
good, just everything good, right?
Hey, they do not hear him.
Okay.
It's all lies, I promised.
1 second, they're saying they're not hearing you. Let me check this. Sorry about that.
Okay, no worries. Let's see. John, are you there? Can you hear me?
I am here.
Perfect. All right.
Let
So-
me see. Oh yeah, they can hear him.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
he should be coming through the stream. So I'll be quiet for a second.
Okay.
Our
We
audio
hear
may be a
you.
little louder.
So,
Hi, John.
No worries.
yes, hello, John.
I really wish we could put the camera on. I'm gonna try and slip off to the side and see if I can get you guys on film. Do you mind if I put you on the stream?
Yeah, no,
the
absolutely.
video?
Please go ahead.
I'm gonna try.
Yes, and apologies, John and Vlad. This is we've been moving so quickly through all of this, and so we literally just got.
Excuses, Sarah.
Yeah, we literally just got the YouTube about an hour ago, so we're good. So we're getting this set up.
I'm gonna see
So-
if I can get them.
Okay, I'm just gonna talk.
Yeah, go ahead. You talk, and I'll get them
Vlad.
in the window.
Do you want to introduce John?
Well, yeah, absolutely, guys.
Okay.
So all of you know who I am. I'm Vlad Lemets. I'm the co-founder of Vets for Trump, and now I want to get Red Pill off the ground because we need a revolution in the conservative, not in alternative spaces, rather.
Yeah.
Okay, because this is where things are headed, you know.
Yeah.
And the subversion of the alternative spaces has been no longer at the frog boiling exercise. It's been full on steam. So alternative culture is waking up, and I'm trying to help is whatever I can. Okay. So I don't like to talk much about myself and the things that I do, but I would like to bring people to this movement who actually are, big supporters and who are with us in this fight. So that being said, I want to introduce my close friend, John Ferguson. Okay. And I would like John to, say a couple things about who he is, what he does, and what he wants to do with our community.
Well, thank you, Vlad. It's a pleasure to meet all of you folks here on Zoom. But I own a couple of companies. I own a company called Saxon Unmanned, where we manufacture military-grade unmanned aircraft. And I'll show you I'm taking an aircraft back to Kansas, but here's an aircraft I want to show you right here. This aircraft is a multi-copter aircraft. It's 18 feet
We see it.
when you unfold the arms. It's the second largest multi-copter aircraft in the world. So I thought that'd be kind of a cool treat for you guys to see. But also, I own Java John's International Coffee, a coffee roastery, where we've been roasting, Patriot style coffee for, well, since you may have heard of me, not to be arrogant, but you may have heard of me because I kind of broke the back of the Biden administration back in 2024
You're a hero.
on the drones in New Jersey that they're looking for nuclear warheads.
Yep, heard of that.
Yeah, so that was me and two other gentlemen.
Yeah.
And Vlad is actually very familiar with that as well. And then also I spent several years south of the border fighting cartels for human trafficking and child sex trafficking and narco-terrorism. Then I spent several years on the border fighting that as well. So for me, it's an honor and it's a privilege to support Vlad and all of you, and to be able to white label coffee for you all and help watch you grow, or help you guys grow and watch you guys grow.
Well, we think it's amazing that you're helping us out with that. Like, when he told me, he's like, I'm going to get my friend on the call today, I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So I thank you so much for taking the time to talk with all of us. We really appreciate it. And I'm excited to see the coffees. I know they were talking about the different designs and stuff of the coffees that we want to have, and I'm a big coffee drinker, so I'm excited about that.
That helps.
Yeah. So are they all?
That helps.
Are they like whole bean, or is like they're ground and stuff? I know that's like a simple question, but I'm making
I get
plans.
coffee. No, I get coffee from around the world, and I'm the roast master. So, I develop all of the blends of coffee, and coffee is the best when you grind it right before you brew it. So.
It is.
Most people don't have grinders, and we just now started doing K-cups, by the way. I don't know if I told you that. But we are now doing K-cups. So that's not the best freshness, but it's pre-ground and it's just very convenient. But yeah, I develop all the blends, and we do all the flavorings like caramel rum. The big seller right now is Jamaican Me Crazy, which is crazy.
I assume it's from Jamaica.
No, has nothing to do with Jamaica.
That would be Blue Mountain from Jamaica.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Jamaican Blue Mountain.
It's pretty good.
But we've had blends that have scored exceptionally high ever since 2001. So it's funny because a guy, when I first developed the coffee shop, he said, "Hey, don't forget about us who can't afford your fancy coffee." And I was selling coffee for $9 a pound at the time. And I said, "Oh yeah, you're right." So I developed I took two beans and put them together and sold it for $5 a pound. Everything else was selling for $9 a pound. And I went like a year and nobody would buy it. I'm like, what the hell? So I went in one day and said, I'm going to take this crap off the shelf. I can't sell it. This is after a year of not selling it. So I was like, well, wait a minute. I'm going to mark it up to regular price, and I'm going to call it Breakfast Blend. So I called it Breakfast Blend, marked it up to regular price, and it's been one of my number one sellers since 2002. And all it is a dark roasted Sumatran toned down with a lighter roasted Colombian Supremo. And it's absolutely just a beautiful cup of coffee, and it's been one of the top sellers for 25 years.
That's awesome. And is that what you do, and then you just repackage it? Is that how it works?
So I roast it.
Yeah.
Then I blend it, and then I let it set for a day or two because it has to off gas. And then when the order, we do this as per the order.
Oh, that's awesome. I was wondering that. So it's like it's on demand, basically.
Yeah, because coffee is only good for about 30 days or so, and then you really lose your freshness. So we don't roast anything until we have an order for it. And so then we grind it or keep it whole bean. We bag it, seal it, label it, ship it. So
this is like awesome coffee. Like, no.
It's premium coffee.
Premium coffee. That's amazing.
Yeah, John, I run on coffee.
To me, you're such a multifaceted guy. You know, you're
Yeah.
Marine Corps veteran, and you know, you're literally making the very toys that our government used to kill insurgents overseas. And in your spare time, you are a full-time barista. You know, so it's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
amazing about you, John. How
Well,
did you get into coffee stuff anyways? Just out of curiosity, on a side note, because it doesn't seem like your normal repertoire, you know?
Well, you know me from Kansas. I'm surrounded by oceans, but um, when I was in the third grade, I always dreamt. I was supposed to be a pirate. I was a pirate in my past life, because I'm always in trouble, and I'm just very mischievous, and I love the ocean. So I wrote a book as an assignment in the third grade, and it was about working in the ocean, and I still have the book to this day. And so I wrote this book about working in the ocean. The teacher thought I was so stupid for writing a book about working in the ocean that she flunked me. Well, years later, I work in the ocean.
That's awesome.
I was in the South China Sea, and Vlad, this is actually in the book, 9 Lives and Counting, but I was dying of dysentery, and I ended up, you know, crossing over twice, actually. And Vlad knows the story, it's in the book. But during that time, I had met a guy, and he was talking, and he brought his own coffee on the ship, because I was a deep sea diver, and then I got into piloting submersible vehicles. And by the way, I'm the only guy on the planet, validated, to ever be attacked by a giant squid in a submersible. So anyway, I was in the South China Sea. This guy brought his own coffee. We got hit by 2 typhoons. They collided over the top of us. And I asked this guy, because we couldn't get in the water, I was like, why are you bringing your own coffee? He said, well, I'm not going to drink that shit, that Folger stuff. And so for the next 2 weeks, we were talking about how to roast coffee and how to blend it. So I came home, and I bought a little coffee roaster, a little handheld kitchen coffee roaster. And I started roasting and learning about coffee. I started giving it out to people, and, you know, friends and family. And then they kept coming back for more and more and more. And then I started to, I have to sell it now because I've spent a lot of money on coffee. So I started selling it. And I did this for a couple of years, and I realized I wanted to start a coffee roastery. Well, by then I was over in Africa, and I was in a helicopter that went down. And as we were going down, and the helicopter went into auto rotate off the coast of Nigeria, this German guy, we were going down. You got to imagine, we're scared to death, and we're getting ready to die in a freaking helicopter in Nigeria, Africa. And this German guy says, if I survive, I'm never coming back to this country ever again. I said, me neither. And I said, what are you going to do? He's like, I don't give a shit. I'm not ever coming back here. He said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to start a coffee shop.
Oh, nice.
If I survive,
so that's how
start coffee.
So that's how Java John's was born in 2001.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a, you know, and you've got a very impressive track record, and I've heard a little bit more from Vlad behind the scenes. So that the coffee story, that's amazing. I actually looked into doing some brewing of coffee at one point in time, and it's tough, but I absolutely loved. I live on coffee. Like, I don't think I'd be here if it wasn't for caffeine, right?
Running
so I got as soon as I can, I'm gonna check it out. What do you recommend? What's your favorite blends?
You know, my favorite blend is breakfast blend.
Okay.
Is that the strong one?
No, it's a medium. It's a medium roast, because you take a dark roasted Sumatra and then you tone it down with a lighter roasted Colombian Supremo, and it just kind of, you get that nice bold front loaded flavor, and then you don't get that harshness, that bitterness, because that Colombian Supremo is a little bit more nuttier and sweeter. and so it makes the finish really nice at the end after you drink after you take your sip, right? So get that nice morning bold cup of coffee, and then you finish with some sweetness.
As you're talking, my Starbucks coffee is tasting a little less and less tasty.
We got ourselves
oh my gosh,
pre-ground
Starbucks, terrible.
I know.
Hey, I'm
that
desperate.
What you had in mind for us for helping us with our own red pill white label? Because we need something that is going to keep our mods awake.
Yes.
Our team is absolutely
he wants
exhausted,
to keep us like
and they
going.
need IV for with coffee.
Yeah, and so I don't know if you folks know this, but the darker you roast the coffee, the less caffeine you get, right? So a lot of people think that the darker the roast, the more caffeine. That's actually not the case at all.
I did not know that.
Yeah, caffeine is a film around the bean, and when you roast it longer, you're roasting off the caffeine. So if you add that lighter roasted Colombian in there, that kind of makes up for the lack of caffeine that you get. But there's two types of coffee. There's Arabica, and then there's Robusta. Arabica is what you would have heard of being mountain grown from 3,000 to 7,000 feet altitude. There's over 750 characteristics that makes up the flavor of a coffee bean. And so it's 3 times more complex than wine. So that's why coffee can be so expensive, is because you have, nerds like me who dissect, the DNA of a freaking coffee bean, right? But you take a Robusta bean, it has a lot more caffeine content, and it doesn't have quite the nutrients. It grows like wheat on lower altitudes. It's just not that good of a coffee, but you blend in that little extra Robusta, and that amps up your caffeine content. And what that also does, it expands out your profit margin. That's what everybody else does. I don't do that. I don't blend Robusta into my Arabica coffees. What you get is all natural. So that's why for the breakfast blend, you add that little bit of, medium to lighter roasted Colombian in there. It'll give you that little bit of a extra caffeine kick.
So that's good to know. Because question then, while I have you, like with using like on my coffee pot, this is just a random thing. It has a dark roast option. Does that get rid of the caffeine then?
No, the roast process is what it doesn't get rid of the caffeine, it reduces the caffeine.
So would it reduce it then in the, like we have our Ninja, it's like do a regular system or a regular run or do it a dark run? So if I do the dark run, it's actually depleting the caffeine?
No. What that does is to brew coffee, like a 12-cup coffee pot, you want your temperatures to be around 200 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe up to 205 degrees. But you want about 3 to 4 minutes for that water to set on the coffee grounds. And that's why I use Ninja as well. Ninja's one of the best. It's one of that and Bun are the only ones that really get the coffee, the water up to temperature and really regulates the flow. And so what the Ninja does with the dark roast is it allows that water to sit and absorb the flavor of the beans a little bit more. So you will get more of a harsher, more pungent flavor. And pungent actually is a good term in the coffee business. So that's why you're getting the dark roast settings.
Okay. Because I like it.
See, I told you I was a nerd.
Like, I know. I love it though. Well, that's why I was asking because I'm so like, I'm anal about how I make my coffee. And so that's why I was like, well, I want to make sure I'm getting the best thing out of it. So that's why I asked. I'm like, so am I doing this right? I mean, I love it.
Is our Starbucks being brewed correctly?
Yeah, is our Starbucks Pike's Place being brewed correctly?
I can't wait to hear this.
I know.
Don't send a drone our way.
Starbucks is the sweatshop of America for coffee.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
I just made that up, by the way.
Okay. That was good.
I think it's true. I think I just looked that up.
Make a T-shirt of that one.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Starbucks is absolutely disgusting, but and I'm not saying that because they're a competitor, right? I'm saying that because it's actually truly disgusting coffee.
No, it's true.
It's true. You're
but
shaming
also,
us.
if you really want to be a nerd, as the seasons change and the barometric pressure changes, then you also have to adjust your grind to more coarse to less coarse. during the changing of the seasons for your barometric pressures. So, see, more nerd stuff.
That is amazing. You need to have a book on that, like a booklet or something, like an explanation as to get the best coffee possible.
Instruction manual.
An instruction manual.
I don't know
I need coffee to read it, so it'll be kind of a conundrum.
I don't know if the liberal beehive, Barnes and Noble, has enough room on their shelf for one more book about coffee.
That's why you could sell it at Red Pill.
This is one thing that always amazed me, with all the stuff that you are doing, for you to have this much passion specifically about this. I thought this was crazy, man. But I did want to actually touch with you because you are a very outspoken person, about Marxists that are taking over the Democratic Party, and you get invited to Mar-a-Lago quite a bit to talk specifically about these kind of things. So I wanted to touch base with you on this and just kind of see what your thought process is on what is happening with the DSA right now, and at the same time as that is happening and the communist onslaught is happening, look, alternative community is waking up right now, and the culture is changing in this. People are no longer to be able to say, hey, I'm a metalhead, I'm an emo, I'm a rocker, and we are done with this liberal BS. So it is very interesting to me to see this parallel shift in cultures happening at the same time. And I know you get invited to speak about this subject matter expert stuff a lot. So I wanted to hear from you, because when I was talking to you about what it is that we're doing, I mean, that's the first thing you told me, Vlad, like, this is much needed, and I want to be, do whatever I can to help you guys. So tell me, what are your thoughts on all of this?
That's thank you, Vlad. And again, thank you all for allowing me to come in and just chat with you for a few minutes. But, I've worked with, in, Muslim countries around the world for years. Like, I was just in my 87th country a couple of months ago. And actually, that's another one of those countries where I almost didn't make it out alive. But, I've seen the belly of the beast in the Islamic extremists. And that's a very real thing. But this all ties together. And I just did a TikTok video yesterday and actually this morning that I haven't posted yet about all of this stuff. You've got the standard Muslims who are just wonderful people, but then you have the radical Islamist extremists. But this all ties in together. America, and I say this in a lot of the interviews that I do, but America is like a piece of string cheese, and you have to forgive my ADHD brain, but America is at war with the healthcare system. You take a little piece of the string cheese off. America is at war with Mexicans, with blacks, with Muslims, with Christians, with liberals, with conservatives, and doctors, and look at all of these pieces of string cheese that are being taken off the stalk, right? And so it doesn't take a whole lot to piss people off in the world today. That is all being done on purpose. And I actually just survived my second assassination attempt a couple of months ago because I am so outspoken on these issues.
Right.
But the deep state have my number because
truth has a cost nowadays. It's no joke.
Yeah, and throwing the spear through the heart of the Biden administration during these drone things and trying to stop the nuclear warhead situation, with Ralph, Vlad, and the other gentleman. These situations are all being coordinated by the deep state, and people have to really understand that there is truly a deep state. And I think we all know that. So all of this is being coordinated, but it's very simple in today's world with the amount of programming that has been done to us over the decades, that now you can just throw a rock in the water and create a huge splash, right? Well, it doesn't take much to piss off the Muslims. Like, they're they're already walking around with a chip on their shoulder, and they're ready to fight. No, they're peace-loving people, but
Right.
You sway them one way, and it doesn't take too much. And then you got these liberals who are being paid to pick a side.
So John, would it be fair to say, I've actually had some introduction to this back in the day through Coast to Coast, and then a guy named John B. Wells, who got into this and really dug into the heart of it. They don't really, when we say Muslims, Islam, they don't fight fair. They use our rules against us, right? Would that be a fair way to say that?
Yes, but they're also populating the world, right? You know, the average family is 6 to 8 kids, right? So they're taking over by sheer numbers as well. And then we have the deep state that's pushing these people. And so when you have your average Muslim who's a peace-loving person, it doesn't take much to piss them off. And then you get the liberals to come in who are getting paid to do this and push them further into the extremist ways. But then also they're very intelligent. They've, like most, through the centuries, they have learned to adapt, and they have learned to create new instruments for the battlefield. And so it's very well known that their whole drive, their whole future, their whole vision is to take over and create an Islamic world, right? And so what they're doing with Mandani and Dearborn and Germany and France and UK and Ireland, this is all part of the plan. So do they fight fair? No. But like Hirohito said, I fear we have awoken the sleeping giant. Piss us off, and I'm optimistic, but piss us off to the point to where you have awoken the sleeping giant. I think it's going to be really bad. And I have been watching through the channels. I have been watching a lot of people starting to assimilate, and it's being pushed closer and closer and closer.
When you're saying assimilate, from America, we're having more assimilation. Okay, so here's the challenge that I've noticed, because when you start to talk about the Muslim Islam, a lot of people instantly go, "Hey, you're being racist and you're against their religion," and America supports freedom of religion. Can you explain why this may be different?
Yeah, so remember when, was it Obama that passed the Patriot Act, or you guys can probably tell me more.
It was Bush.
Bush passed the Patriot Act, and then
Obama
followed it up.
Yeah, and then Obama
followed up with another one.
Yeah.
He basically took it the next level. Like Bush did the Patriot Act, and then here was the whole thing. And I'm sorry, I'm a little passionate about this because I was so nipped because I watched this. I watched Bush, and I spoke out against a lot of the things that I didn't feel were very American or constitutional.
Like the Patriot Act.
Like the Patriot Act. And then it just got passed to Obama. Everybody applauded him, said, "Hey, first black president." I was happy for the first African-American president. And I'm like, that's great, But then again, he came out as a constitutionalist. And then he totally took what Bush did and just did it behind everybody's back, even worse. And people were still applauding him. That's what I saw. So sorry, I'll give you back the floor.
No, that's fine. And they're related, right? So
I think if they aren't, they definitely seem to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Obama, like you said, took it to a new level. I can't remember exactly what that bill was, but basically, he
wanted the American
propaganda bill of 2012. I don't remember the name of it, but
he wanted the civilian force too to come out against. It was anyway.
That's
I'm sorry. I digress.
Well, basically, you can't use the military against American citizens, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and now what Obama did is, unless they're labeled domestic terrorists. So remember when all of the teachers. There was during the Biden administration, and how they started calling the people that were going to these student council bodies, and they were protesting all of the COVID bullshit and they started labeling everybody, the parents, as domestic
Domestic
terrorists.
terrorists.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
They
because,
weaponized
again,
it. We screamed about that. This is going to happen,
Yeah.
and it's happening. It's happening
Yeah,
in front of our
so-
face. Yeah. Oh,
That's the programming that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So now it's not uncommon to label somebody a domestic terrorist. Well, like in the military, when I was in the Marine Corps, I got out 2 days before the Rodney King riots, right? And so
wow.
I called and asked if I could go back. And like, nah, you're out. Go have fun. Well, the thing is that they could never deploy troops against American citizens, right? But now, as we are labeled domestic terrorists, now you can utilize the military to engage in what is considered domestic terrorists, right?
Yes.
The problem is that we have two sides of the fence. We have the conservatives, well, the Republicans and the Democrats. It's not even really a line anymore. And so now either one that's in power can call the other side a domestic terrorist. So the Biden administration called conservatives domestic terrorists. Well, what do you think the Trump administration is doing right now? All of the multicolored haired, liberals are now being labeled domestic terrorists, right? So we're playing tennis. Yeah, we're playing tennis.
Well, and I remember back when this happened, and a lot of people were like, "Hey, this is crazy," and people were like, "No, we got to go against this. We got to put the Patriot Act in. It's a Patriot Act," which is kind of like, I'll make some parallels, but they said we got to put this in place because we got to protect the nation, and everybody was like screaming about this, like, "No, this is going to be weaponized, just like what you're saying," and. People had their pocket constitutions. Do you remember them getting arrested for having a pocket constitution back then? There was like a full-on assault against people that were standing against it. And here we are. We're seeing the reality, like you're pointing out. It happened, and a lot of people don't know this because they don't know the history.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is we are playing tennis with political ideology, right? Yeah. So whoever's in power. We have taken it to such a high level that no matter what, the politics is so polar opposite at this point that no matter what, whoever's in power, the other side is going to be labeled as a domestic terrorist.
It's sick.
That's the nature of the beast and that we are living in right now. And so the only way that we're going to be able to beat this is to either a couple of options. Either we drive out the communists that are in this country, and that's the only way you're going to be able to stamp out that ideology.
You mean the ideology, right?
And that's a bad, harsh thing to say. Well, that's exactly what is going to happen here in the United States, no matter what color you are, right? So that's not going to happen, is it? Because we don't do that shit as Americans, do we? Or we haven't been pushed that far yet, right?
So could you expound upon that, what you're saying? So the solution for the communist, first describe what, I think a lot of Americans get confused about democratic, communists, and there's a lot of confusion, which is what I see a lot online, is it's all been conflated until everybody's confused about what is actually taking place. So in your words, what is communism?
Well, communism is where 1% of the people control 99% of everybody else, and they have the complete and utter control over everything that we do. Right. And everything that we learn and everything that we're fed, the George Orwell's 1984, right?
Right.
So, that is a part of communism. And see, if you like George Soros and Bill Gates and Fauci and all of those ilk, they and the other institutions that are much higher than them, they are paying, the money is coming from upon high and being filtered down to these people. You go pull some, multicolored haired, which I don't mind that as far as conservatives, but the liberals that do that, and ask them, why are you protesting and what is communism? And they're like, well, I want communism because I want a bunch of free shit. That's not what communism is.
No.
You know, that's only 0.1%. So they don't know what it is. So they're too stupid to actually really learn what that actually means. Because if anybody actually dissected what communism truly is, they wouldn't want that for them, their friends, their families, their children, their grandchildren, right?
You know, an easy way for them to grasp that, we played this one time, it's Monopoly for Socialists, I think is what it is. And so you start playing it, and it's like, it's just giving everybody all the things that they want out of the pot, and like the game is over in like 2 rounds because everybody takes all the stuff, and
but think about this, you know, and the newer communism is where, you know, you're noticing in the grocery stores, there's no more seeds. The watermelons and everything, all of the seeds are going away because they want to control what we eat. You know, I stopped going to the grocery store a couple of years ago. I've lost 30 pounds. I'm 56 years old and I'm in the best shape of my life. And, you know, other than all the broken bones I've had in my body, but, you know, I buy all my beef from a rancher. You know, I buy all my fruits and vegetables from the farmers markets. I make my own bread. I make my own butter. I mean, I'm a single guy living in a house by myself. So what else am I going to do? Right. So I ride my bike. I do 20 miles a day. I do 20 minutes on the rowing machine. I do the elliptical machine. I lift weights, and I'm in pretty damn good shape. Right. So, I go to Walmart. I don't ever go to Walmart, but I go to the grocery stores and I look and I see what people put in their baskets.
Yeah.
And it's like, my God, you're feeding that to your children.
Yeah.
And the majority of the food that you go into a Dillon's or a Kroger or Ralph's or Albertsons or whatever, you take 90% of that food into another country in Europe, and I guarantee you'll be locked up because 90% of that food is illegal in other countries.
We've seen that.
I know, that's why it's completely different in other countries, like macaroni and cheese. I think that's the big thing people talk about, like the ingredient list in that.
Yeah. So Velveeta, there's actually an underground market for Velveeta cheese in Germany. And so and I was just
it's not sold there.
I just
like a
was
drug?
in.
Yeah.
It's this processed crap that they won't allow in their country.
Isn't it the same thing with ranch dressing? Like they don't have ranch dressing, and so they want the ranch dressing from us because we have it abundantly.
I don't know.
Somebody say that. I think it was in Japan. They were like visiting Japan or something, and they had ranch dressing, and the people are like adamant wanting them to leave it there for them. And
of all the things to bring to Japan, you bring freaking ranch dressing.
I know, it's funny. It's
Well, you know, I was in Burundi, and I met with the president of Burundi last year, and you know they took me in a presidential caravan all around Burundi, and I got to see all the coffee plantations. I can send you all videos of it.
That'd be cool.
But Vlad, I'll send you some of the videos.
Yeah,
but
please do.
Oh, it was wonderful. They had this big, huge African dance ceremony for me, and it was wonderful. But their mangoes and their avocados and their fruits were just so crisp and clean and fresh, and it's like.
I know. Years ago, I went to Jamaica, and I was up in the mountains for a missions trip, and it was crazy. Like he pulled over and he's like, "Here, let's get you guys some oranges," and it was just some guy selling them from the street, and like those oranges tasted like nothing you could get here. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's so delicious.
I just got back from California, and my director of operations, he has a house, some property up in the mountains down by San Diego, and he has a big, huge lemon tree and avocados and all kinds of stuff on his property. And I was picking lemons. I'll send you pictures of this, but lemons the size of grapefruits and bigger.
Oh, wow.
So I picked 150 pounds of lemons and brought them back home.
That's probably delicious.
I take the ski. Have you ever heard of limoncello?
Lemon what?
The drink, the limoncello.
Yeah, limoncello is where you take the skin you take the skin of the lemon, not the white, but just the outer skin, the yellow, and you peel it off and you soak it in Everclear for 30 to 45 days. And then you boil sugar and water together like a simple syrup, and you mix the two, and then you let it set for another 30 days or so. And for the Italians, after you have a nice big, 7-course meal, you drink a little bit of limoncello, and it cools your stomach, and it makes life just so much better. So, and then I take all the juice, and I freeze all of the juice in ice cubes. And so when I want some lemonade, I just take the ice cube and just plop it in my water, and now I have fresh lemonade. So long story short is I have done everything I can. I'm learning more about,
sounds like it.
How to be more natural.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that I won't kick the shit out of Denali Moose Tracks ice cream.
Yeah.
But but I'm trying to be very natural because all of the crap that we're being fed in these grocery stores are complicit. They're selling this stuff to us, so they're guilty. They're killing
they're poisoning us
women and children.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's like years ago, like when our daughter was little, like trying to shop at the grocery store to get something that didn't have high fructose corn syrup took us like an hour to make sure we were getting all the products that we didn't want to have that in. And it's like, so it is awesome to see though that now most products say right on it, no high fructose corn syrup. It's not something that's sold as frequently, and it's...
Well, and that's something that we've changed the policies on a little bit.
Yeah.
We're trying to push back on. Well, it was just talk about fluoride. I remember going to the dentist and saying, "Hey, I don't want fluoride," and the dentist is like, "Well, are you crazy?" And now that same dentist is like, "I should listen to you."
Yeah, she's like, "I should listen to you."
And it's not
and
that
Kennedy.
You don't win anything by being right about this stuff. You want to warn people. You want people to see these things so they can improve their lives, so that we can build people that are thinking straight when they're dealing with the things that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Well, three things. Number one is Heinz just got busted for putting dangerous pesticides in the ketchup.
Yeah.
Nice.
Number two, the GLPs that people are taking, even the doctors haven't done research on, but the GLPs, the actual GLP that you're ingesting is, I think it's a Gila monster. It's venom from a Gila monster.
Oh my God.
And that goes into your system, and it stops something from working in your system that naturally creates the GLPs that your body will naturally create anyway. But people are starting to go blind, have heart disease, and get cancer from these GLPs. So you got to be careful with that.
I mean, you can see it on them, like when they're taking the stuff. You can just there's something not right. I mean, it's not to be mean.
Yeah.
I haven't dug into it as far as you have, but I don't even need to. I'm just like, something does not seem right.
Something doesn't
working.
smell right.
This isn't right. It's like very zombified, like the food.
Well, and then years ago, I had an office in Scotland for about 6 years, and so all of my Scottish brothers were like, hey, you bloody Yank, what are you gonna do to stop stop gun violence in America?
Oh goodness.
And I said, well,
why?
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not.
Some people need a good house cleaning anyway, but they're like, what would you do to stop the gun violence? And I said, well, look at the diet. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
I said, look at the diet. In the 1970s and 80s, food was being distributed. It was going bad. People weren't making money. And so they sent lobbyists. These big farm corporations would send lobbyists to DC to lobby for additives and preservatives. And so you look at the rise of the additives and preservatives in our food, and then you place over the top of that the rise of ADD, ADHD, autism, bipolar, all that stuff. And you lay those over the top of each other, and they both take a very similar right. I've done this graph. So if you can control the crap that we're ingesting and go back to more natural foods, I think, the mental health issues, and you see the rise of the mental health,
for real.
I think if you could just control more of what we're eating and get rid of all of this bad crap that these people are selling us in these grocery stores, then I think you can back down off of the mental illness just a little bit. Now, this is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to go on YouTube, and I want you to do a search for Pringles potato chips under a microscope.
Oh, I don't want to do that. I
I
already don't want to do it.
I can't say
Yeah,
I've
don't
not had
do-
Pringles in over a decade, so.
I'm scared. I'll do it, but I'm
Yeah.
scared. I have a feeling it's going to be disgusting.
Doritos, Fritos, Cheetos, all the O's are all the same.
O's, all those O's.
So before we dive on, and you've taken us everywhere. I think we're going to need a couple hours with you, sir, at this point, because all these topics are just so fascinating. And but real quick, we talked about the mental health issue. I think you really hit a topic there that a lot of people don't push enough. Is that the food is definitely, and I can tell 100%. Once you just quitting sugar, high fructose corn syrup, your whole mental state changes. It completely changes. And people that don't know this,
they think you're crazy for saying
they're like
that.
zombies. They're like, what is wrong with you? Why aren't you eating sugar? And I'm like, once you stop, you'll understand.
Stopped.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if we
a few years ago, I stopped all the processed sugar. So I use like the monk fruit, or I use agave.
Yes.
So I stopped. I haven't used white sugar in my house for years.
Right.
You know, so again, and by the way, I'm not speaking to anyone from a platform.
I don't want to shame. I'm not trying to shame anybody. If you have sugar, I'm just saying there is a difference mentally. At least for me, it was.
Your own experience. Yeah, it's your own experience with it. So.
I have experience with this too, because look, I mean, I completely cut out sugar and simple carbs and alcohol from my diet for over a year now, and in that year, I have went down from 225 pounds to 176.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've never
congratulations, Vlad.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I'm half the man you used to know.
But twice the man at the same time. But twice the man.
Gonna be honest,
twice the man.
I have kicked old fashions. So I love old fashions, so
that's definitely a drink of choice that used to be.
One more quick interjection here, and then just because it was so, I seen this, and I don't know what your perspective. When you said how do you stop gun violence, I'm not, again, not a doctor. I'm not telling people to quit sugar. I don't know. I'm not a pharmacist, but it does seem like there may be a correlation between some of these antidepressants and some of the activity. I've dug into that. I'm not sure, but it just seemed odd to me.
Yeah, and I think diet factors into that too. And so, yeah.
Yeah. What did we do 1,000 years ago? Did we have depression and
no?
Did we have glucose or gluten-free and
no?
All this other
it's
crap?
Because they were the wheat was processed differently then.
Do you know where the origin of wheat came from?
No.
The origin of wheat came from Egypt.
Okay.
And then it went to Russia.
Okay.
And then the Russians distributed wheat around the world.
You blame the Russians again.
No, I'm saying thank you
Russians.
Because I love my muffins.
Goodness.
That's amazing.
You've okay. So I mean, it sounds like we've all kind of went down some of these same. Now I know where you're going with wheat too. Man, you're going all over the place. But yeah, there's the food thing. When you start putting all the data points together, when you start looking at all the different things and not just something in isolation, because it sounds crazy in isolation. You're like, wheat's not going to hurt you. Sugar's not going to hurt you. Obviously, their medications, antidepressants have their place. Absolutely, 100%. But when you start putting the trends together and doing the data, which is what you do, right? I mean, that's you run a company building drones, right?
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I don't know what you would like to know about the drones. Basically, I was a deep sea diver, and then I got into piloting submersible vehicles.
Okay.
And so I piloted submersible vehicles around the world. And when I saw the drones come in to the theater, let me put my earbuds in. Sorry.
No,
Make it a little better.
I'm all ears.
Better?
Mm-hmm.
Is this better?
Much better.
Yes.
Okay, thank
much
you.
Better.
Yeah.
So I had a company where I had 8 submersible vehicles, and my business partner and I had a falling out, and so we split. He got the kids, he got all the subs, and so I was basically destitute, and I saw the rise of the drones in 2013. And I thought, I'm going to do that. So I had no money. I sold my Harley, bought my first drone, and now here I am, one of the, I guess, more known drone companies for manufacturing. But I have 2 patents on submersible technology. And my big thing was that I wanted to create systems that would save lives or take the lives of the bad guys.
We're using your drones right
saving
now
lives
at the
either way,
border, as well as many different countries. You know what? Touch on that. Touch what your drones have been able to do for us on the southern border.
Yeah.
So my aircraft, when we were working with CBP years ago, they wanted something that was more robust. Now, if you can imagine, as a pilot of submersible vehicles and being off the coast of the most deepest, darkest parts of the world, where you don't have Amazon or Radio Shack or McMaster Car or whatever, I have seen a 50-cent part drop a project that cost $1.5 million a day for 2 weeks. Okay. And so when I created my unmanned aircraft, I wanted to make them so that they were modular, larger, so you could get your hands in and work on them. But basically, they needed to be a system that was workable, because the drones of those days were not workable. So I created the systems so that, like, the wings would slide forwards and backwards to adjust for the center of gravity for the aircraft. It could take an hour to find CG. If you don't find CG and it takes an hour to do that, you have troops in the field who are dying, or you're not making any money. So I fixed that problem, and that went all throughout the industry. I was the very first one to create a tactical robot crawler, like the big crawler vehicles that follow the troops.
Yeah.
I created the very first one. And this is verified, right? I have a new design that is going to redefy the whole drone system. Right. So when I release this drone, it's going to.
Are you breaking this on our podcast?
No.
Well,
I'm ears.
Possibly.
Please do.
But also, 15 years ago, I created the very first virtual wall, which was an aircraft communicating with a USV, an unmanned surface vehicle, like a big remote control boat, that communicates with a USSV, which is a big torpedo, like a subsurface vehicle that's autonomous. And that subsurface vehicle could drop out an ROV, a remotely operated vehicle that's tethered. And so all of these are communicating. And so there's nothing that the enemy can get through this system, right? And so I have these designs that have been out in the field and are the first ones working. They just haven't gone mainstream yet. Only now they're going mainstream.
Wow.
And so the next thing that I have designed is a subsea habitat. So I have a subsea habitat that has endless power, that could be set on the seabed and be powered endlessly.
Wow.
And then you could take your autonomous underwater vehicles and you can dock into the habitat where there are people who could resupply, refit.
So you're saying like that the habitat would be like a place for like almost like the same kind of thing that they were trying to do to put on another planet, but it's under the ocean. Is what you're saying? Like it's a fully powered.
Yes, that's good.
Like societal, not society, but like a fully powered like group could live there, provide food for themselves and everything.
Yes, that is correct. And there's a couple of things that they haven't been able to do as far as an underwater habitat, and I got it figured out. So
I really want to try your
really
coffee
cool.
now.
I know. This coffee is going to be amazing. It's like, it's going to be.
Well, it's funny.
It's like,
I always tell people
coffee's your side project,
drones,
right?
Yeah, coffee's your side project while you're doing these habitats under the ocean.
Do you remember when
terrestrial crawlers and all this other shit?
Crawling down and getting some coffee.
My passion is coffee.
Yeah, that's what I do, and this is my side project.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which is,
my passion is coffee.
One thing that always amazed me about you, John. Here's the deal. Like in 2023, President Trump's former top foreign policy advisor, retired Rear Admiral from Seabees, Charles Kubik, he wrote a personal thank you letter to John because he's the gentleman responsible with his engineering group for building 1/3 of the entire southern wall. And John received the Hero of the Month certificate, from Veterans for America.
Wow.
All of that noise, okay. And specifically for the stuff that he's doing to revolutionize fighting the cartel at the southern border, which is always blew my mind that the last thing that John ever mentions is the things he's actually doing with that, and he puts so much effort on his coffee.
Vlad, you know the genius is because they never talk about it. You see them and they're just like, yeah, I'm just I'm playing this game or doing this thing, and they're just designing drones and coffee. But no, amazing. Just you're blowing my mind a little bit here.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, what else are you gonna do when you go home every night and the four walls are the lack of noise is deafening, so you think of shit.
Yeah. I could do
So here's a funny story for you. I am in this very nice 2021 Ram Eco Diesel pickup that gets 28 miles to the gallon. And it's a 2021 and it has 224,000 miles on it.
Wow.
And I have my little radio thing here that I don't think I have ever turned the radio on, but maybe 10 times in 224,000 miles. And the reason why is because the music, which I love music, but it is distracting because I crawl up inside my head and I think of shit and I hyper focus. So I guess that's what I do.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, seriously. I mean, no joke. You're really blowing my mind here. I mean, I did not expect. You're our first guest, by the way, on our podcast.
Yeah, so we're like,
and we just started doing this, and this is.
Yeah.
Vlad said, "Hey, I'm going to get somebody amazing on this podcast," and he wasn't joking. So.
Well, you have to just get better. Now you just
John
have to get
is
better.
known as Lord of War in our community because it is his drones that are doing stuff. Look, like one of the things that he was working together was Arizona border recon. Not a lot of people know that, but it is his drones, had the capability to see heat signatures and aid identifying smugglers and traffickers, through the border. Okay, not a lot of people know, about this, but it is his tech.
We hear all day long about the people that are complaining about this country, and they're just not really even doing anything but eating the crappy food, drinking bad coffee. Then you got a guy like John who's basically changing the world, and he doesn't get any airplay.
No.
So here he is on our podcast.
Protecting our
That's wrong.
border.
We need to change that.
Yeah, and that's what's awesome. What's happening here.
And I don't get paid to do any of this shit, by the way. I've never taken a single penny to do all of this stuff, like south of the border stuff, going over these countries, like bringing the water machines over to the to these Africans so they can have their first clean, fresh glass of drinking water. You remember that, Vlad?
Yeah.
I do all of this stuff on my own dime. Not that I have a lot of dimes to rub together, but I don't get paid to do this. I just had to throw that out there.
No, but it's and so what drives you? Tell us what about this country? What about America that drives you, or what other than the coffee obviously is getting you going, but what I'm gonna have some of that stuff.
Even behind that,
So I've got a weird story. So Vlad knows I'm writing a book. The name of the book is called 9 Lives and Counting.
Okay.
The reason why is because I have actually flatlined several times,
right?
And came back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was smuggled into China in 1998 or 1999 because I was dying of dysentery. And when I left my body, I was able to look down, and this is a no bullshit story. This is absolute fact.
No, I'm all ears.
But I looked down and I saw my body, and I prayed. And I prayed to God. I said, God, please, not here, not now.
Mm-hmm.
I have a wife and kids. I can't die here. And he listened. And it was peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have kept going. A lot of people always ask me, did you see the light? I said, no, but I smelled a lot of sulfur. But that's a joke, by the way.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
But I knew at that point that I am supposed to be here to do something big. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but all I know is that I've got something to do here on this earth.
You're already doing big things, John.
I know.
But see, here's the thing. I don't know if I've hit the mark yet or not.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's passion, and that's awesome.
And so my drive, to answer your question, my drive is to just keep doing big things to try to make this place better for I don't care who.
That's
I
amazing.
don't care if you're black, white, Christian, Muslim.
I love that.
The spirit.
That's
I
the
love
spirit.
it.
And I know that's what Vlad has done with this and with starting Red Pill Alternative. I feel like that's how all of us feel too. And like what has drawn us to it is because we want to see something. We have that same thing in our heart too. And so I think that's awesome that you worded it in such an amazing way. And that you went through that.
I actually want to touch on this subject. With starting Red Pill Alternative and all of this, the way I look at most issues in just what's happening in America today is just a very, very simple equation to me. Okay, it is the things that is being pushed down the line advancing individual freedom of a person, or is it advancing more control?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That's
excellent.
great.
That's where everything on my scale boils down to. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't get down into the debates. Are you pro-choice, pro-life? Which week? Which month? None of that nonsense. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, whatever you're pushing, I want to know very simple truths. Is it gonna expand individual liberties and freedoms of our citizens? Or is it gonna expand the government control?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what everything boils down to me. Okay?
Yes.
And in the end of the day, like we're talking a lot about this. The rise of communism and stuff. Look, I gotta tell you guys, I have like a lot of very painful experience and memories, especially dealing with communism, because again, as you've gathered by my name, I came from a communist country, right?
What?
You have some experience and credentials.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
well,
you do.
a lot of us, first generation immigrants who are, from Cuba, from former Soviet bloc, we will understand what this evil looks like. And at the same time, we're now talking with the kids who have absolutely no concept of any of this, and they romanticize the entire thing.
Yep.
Okay?
Yes.
So, and it's a very disheartening thing to see. But to what we were talking earlier, okay, look, the West is not threatened by a Muslim family that wishes to worship peacefully,
Yes.
raise
Absolutely.
children, obey law, build a business, live honorably amongst neighbors. We are threatened by guys like Nidal Malik Hassan, who was a major in U.S. Army and who did a Fort Hood shooting
Yep.
13 people and trying to shoot 32 more, out of which one was one of my soldiers from my company while we were still deployed, who got sent home to out-process out of service because she was pregnant. Killed on the spot was her baby. This kind of piece of shit, who was a major in the U.S. Army, he was entrusted with our very best performing this kind of act. That's what we're threatened with. We're threatened with religious political ideologies that refuses assimilation, rejects equal
Absolutely,
citizenship,
Yeah.
places
Yes.
their sacred law above our civil law. You know, it treats any criticism as blasphemy and views Western tolerance as weakness to be exploited rather than the principle to be respected. Okay, so this is where I come in with all of this. You know, but a big issue is a modern red-green alliance. Look, the DSA and the communists, they think that they're using Islamists to raise to power. In reality is, they do not understand how vicious these people are. I know I spent 3 years in the Middle East, in Iraq, being stuck in their civil war, okay? No, it is the Islamists who are using our gullible kids who romanticize communism, okay?
Yep.
In the end of the day, radical left and political Islam, they do not share same final vision at all. The radical left, it is secular, it is revolutionary, it is anti-capitalist, it is anti-national, it is sexually permissive, and it is organized around grievances. Okay?
Well,
Look,
and-
political Islam is religious. It is patriarchal. It is anti-liberal. It is hostile to any sexual liberation.
Yes.
It is hostile to blasphemy. Okay? It is rooted in authority. On paper, these two should not, work together. They should be enemies. But in practice, they cooperate because both of them identify West as the enemy.
And that's
Okay,
something what you're saying with that. I don't mean to. There's. Have you ever heard of Dr. Sheila Nazarene? She's Iranian.
Yes.
And she talks about that. About that when they left Iran. She said she talks exactly about that. About how it was radical Islam working closely with liberal students in college to have the overthrow.
I want to invite her on our show. I want to talk to her about this stuff. I
love watching her videos, like the experience of that, like because it's literally. That's why I just brought it up, because it's literally what you're saying there. But go
People
ahead,
have
sorry.
to remember that it is the communists who are responsible for what is happening in Iran right now, because Iran was not this secular place that it's been lately. Okay, the Iranian Revolution prior to that was accomplished by their useful radical communist wing, and then it ushered in the Islamic State that it has. Okay, look, this alliance is concerning to me. This alliance is not marriage of love; it is a marriage of resentment. And radical left, it supplies the language of oppression, decolonization, to racism, self-colonial, liberation, resistance, and political Islam supplies religious identity, street pressure, foreign networks, demographic confidence, and by the way, anti-Israel fixation. Okay, so the absurdity of this entire thing, is viewed specifically like when you look at LGBT activists marching for Islamist causes.
Yes.
In a free society,
It's insane.
You can criticize Israeli policy. God bless you. Okay, by all means, you can mourn Palestinian civilians and oppose the suffering. None of that requires pretending that Hamas, ISIS, Taliban, Iranian regime, or any of this system, value or human dignity at all. I mean, ISIS threw men accused of homosexuality off the rooftops.
Yep.
Iranian regime executes homosexuals. Taliban crushes any women liberty. This contradiction is not even subtle. And this is what this Red Green Alliance.
It's kind of like anybody with eyes can see it, and it's like, how do you not see this?
But
Vlad, I have to take you guys back to one of my previous comments where I said that these people, these liberals, are being paid to protest. Or you ask them what communism actually means, they don't freaking know. Like, they're being
Yeah.
paid to go and protest, for these radical Islamic, organizations. They have no freaking clue. I'll say this. Here's what we should do. And I know people say this a lot. For every person that goes out there and protests in support of...
Lost him.
Did we lose him?
Let them spend 30
Oh, there
days.
he's back.
Okay, you're back.
Hold on a second. You got cut
I
off.
don't wanna-
Rewind
Yeah,
for a
we
second.
lost you for
In
a
a
second.
good moment too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. So basically, I don't know the last thing you heard me say, but basically, these people that are being paid to go and protest for these radical Islamic organizations, the answer to that is give them a plane ticket, not a return ticket, but a plane ticket,
Right.
and let them spend 30 days in that country that they're trying to support and live under that law.
But this is
and
the
then we'll see
John,
how they work.
this is the
podcaster that
problem
did
though.
that.
Here's the problem, and this is what I want to touch upon. And everybody's saying these things that are just you're. I mean, I agree, but what they've done is they've weaponized stupidity and gaslighting. So you tell this to somebody, and they're just like,
Right.
nope, that's not
right
true.
there.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, wait, I can show you the evidence, and they just reject the evidence and what they're trying to
Cognitive
do.
dissonance.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Cognitive
is.
dissonance.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
I
They
feel
will
like
be
it's
hearing from first-generation immigrants. You could show them the pictures of atrocities. You
But
can bring
they
them
see
the
them.
stats,
They
and
see the-
will say,
they see the
"Well, it doesn't
pictures."
matter. It's never been done the right way.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
crazy.
But these people see
Yeah.
the pictures and they still reject it.
Yeah.
What do you
I'll
call
tell you
that?
this. Let me tell you guys this, okay? So, the president of Sudan, I've met him. I was asked last year to go over to Sudan and try to help the city of Al Fashir. You can Google all of this, and Vlad, you probably remember me being over there. But
Now
they
he
asked me
gets talking about the cool stuff.
well, so I was over there to try to help stop the genocide.
Wow.
And I of course, me being compelled to try to do big things, right? Well, when I was over there, they were organ harvesting in the streets with no sedatives or anything. They're grabbing the
Oh
people
my gosh.
and organ harvesting. And Google this.
Oh my gosh.
Google blood in the streets of El Fashir, Sudan, by satellite.
Yeah.
There was so much blood on the streets that you could see it from the
That
satellites.
is awful.
Why do I
Okay.
vaguely remember hearing about this? When was
Yeah.
this?
I was there. It
Wow.
was
Oh my
November.
You saw it, so witness, and yeah.
Yeah, and I was actually medevac. Actually, they were trying to throw me in jail for 30 years for treason, but
Wow.
that didn't work out so well.
I just can't get
so-
over that. I'm sorry.
The reason why I was
Yeah, you're just
let out
we're still trying to process
I know. I'm
this.
still over here processing the harvesting organs thing. Sorry. So if you hear me, you're like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
gosh.
that's
Yeah, so-
disgusting and horrid. I mean, it's just evil, pure evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the type of people that we're dealing with, and
Yeah.
Right.
and and Vlad, you probably heard me say this before, but the cartels and all the all of the child sex trafficking and all this stuff, this stuff is coming to a neighborhood near you. Well, then I started saying, well, it's here in a neighborhood near you. So
Mhm.
these same people have these extremist views and this blood rage anger. They're here in this country.
Right.
And who was the woman that just got stabbed a couple months ago or a month ago from a Sudanese guy, maybe a month ago? This stuff is going to happen
Are you talking
more
about?
so.
Are you talking about is that the one on the bus?
No, that was different.
Okay, this is a different
That's
one.
different.
That's
Yeah,
different,
this
yeah.
happened just before I left. This is just a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago.
So
But
how,
anyway, this kind of stuff is happening more and more and more in this country.
Mm-hmm.
so aren't we seeing symptoms of it? And like you've said, we're seeing symptoms of it happening in other countries. Like it's a phase further in other countries, and
Yeah.
it's almost like it's a Trojan horse, right?
Yes, it's very much a Trojan horse. But think about this: they're organ harvesting with no set. I mean, imagine you and your wife and kids walking down the street, and a bunch of guys grab you and just start opening you and your wife and your children up and start taking out your organs.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is
All right.
now you put it that way. I thought you were saying people were willingly doing it like because they were getting paid, but you're saying people were forcibly
That's for
done
money.
that so they can
No,
take the
they're
money.
Just next
No,
level
they're
of evil.
Okay.
snatching these people off the street and laying them on the sidewalk, cutting them open and taking out their organs.
It's the literal
and
zombie
selling them.
apocalypse, is what we're saying. It's for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you Google that, you'll see the blood on the streets from the satellites. So this is the world we're living in now. All right.
Yeah.
So they always say, Jesus is coming back. Well, man, I'll tell you what, he sure has taken his damn time. But
So do you feel like I think you're alluding to the fact that we're starting to see a trend where these people with these ill intents have gotten into our country. These things that are being done are in no way something that general Americans would ever support. Yet why are these people so effective at coming in and hiding right now? And when is it going to turn around and maybe we'll see them unmask?
Okay, so in a lot of the interviews that I have done, whether it's the news or podcasts or whatever, I have come up with a term. It's just my term. It means nothing. It came off of a damn video game. But we have what they call sleeper cells here in the United States, right? We've all heard of the sleeper cells. Okay, but in my mind, there is the difference between a sleeper cell and a splinter cell.
Okay.
Right? So if you've played video games, like Call of Duty and all that stuff, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. A sleeper cell is a less trained, ill-trained person to do a particular mission, and that's it. A splinter cell is a highly trained individual designed to wreak havoc upon the American citizens who has been extremely, very well trained, right? So we have tens of thousands of sleeper cells and what I would consider splinter cells here in the United States. And all they got to do is just wait to get the word, and they're going to wreak havoc on this country. And they are doing it little by little, but there will be a day when they are cut loose, and God help them that day. Because every redneck in the country is going to be hunting their ass down.
It's not just that, and I touched a little bit about the kind of things we're talking about and the kind of things that exist technology-wise with our guys, because we do have some absolutely terrifying weapons, and guys like John are at the forefront of this kind of tech. We do have rifles that shoot large caliber bullets, with almost no recoil, that are being mounted on drones. We do have light ceramic ammunition that is supplied on that. We are capable of shooting with precision down to a centimeter rounds from 1,000 meters. Okay, so this tech does exist. We're not using this tech, and we're not advertising we have it, because if the push comes to shove, guess what? There's going to be a very rude awakening. There's never going to be conflict on U.S. soil, because it will be a slaughterhouse.
I will tell you guys of some tech that we had at one point that we were testing. And I don't know if you remember this, Vlad, but it was this invisible ink. And we could put it on you as a temporary or a permanent tattoo. We could put it on your license plate, your money, your checks, your bullet, your Hummer, your aircraft, your drone, your tire, whatever. And we could put this.
Did you put it on my Hummer? We were very oddly specific here.
Maybe you already did. You don't know about it yet.
Hey, Vlad, I
have specifics. Is it on your Hummer? I own a lot of us here with Hummers anymore.
I own a drone company.
They all broke, everything. I think, unless they're the actual military ones.
But we could put a unique identifier on this particular ink. So if we put it on you and you're walking around in the city of New York, we can identify you with a special camera on my drone, and we can say, oh, Vlad right there, and here's his bank account number, here's his underwear size, here's his shoe size, here's his address, and this is how much money he has to bank.
Wow.
We can do that.
Yeah.
So we were looking at doing that because of the high level personnel in Mexico, like the senators and governors. Their children were being kidnapped.
Oh, wow.
And held for ransom. So we did a lot of ransom drops where we would fly over the money drop, and you know, I always wondered why the police that we were working with never had handcuffs. It's because they never used them. They never needed them. So anyway, so if the kids were kidnapped, then we could identify them. So, but this is what we should have been doing to all of these people coming into our country illegally.
Mm-hmm.
However, you know, doing all these border missions, we would go and we would see there'd be 95 to 98% of you know, fighting age male Chinese or Afghanis or Azeris or, you know, people from Burkina, you know, or, you know, Sierra Leone, you know, all of these people who aren't necessarily friendly to America, right? But all fighting age males, like no women, no children.
But I thought they told us that wasn't true. Sorry, that was my sarcasm there. Sorry.
I got to bring up a quick point in before we move on, because I feel like some people are going to hear, and I kind of heard, you know, about the drone technology. And one of the fears is, like you said about the Patriot Act, what if that gets in the wrong hands? It's great when it's utilized to protect our citizens, but as we've already discussed, what happens if it gets in the wrong hands and it's used against the citizenship? And I think that's a very real possibility, right?
Well, I don't think you need to worry so much about all of that. So one of the a couple of things, and again, Vlad, you might remember this, but I'm kind of the guy that really exposed the American people to the airburst fentanyl rounds that China has been smuggling into the United States by way of the cartels.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
You know, fentanyl is a sugar packet of fentanyl.
You see how it is? An hour and a half later, he starts. Now that he trusts you a little more, he's starting like slip in some things. Yeah.
I know we've got people asking questions.
I mean, it is a podcast, right?
Yeah, do you guys, we've been going on for, and this, I can't even thank you both so much for coming on to our podcast. This is an amazing experience, but we do have some guests that are in the, do you care if we ask a couple questions real quick, or I don't want to interrupt you, John?
No, I'll just finish with this. But anyway, myself and the other, you know, team that I've worked with, we had identified that the Chinese were bringing in airburst fentanyl rounds.
That's insane.
You know, if you can imagine a 500-pound fentanyl bomb blowing up over LA, you know,
isn't it even just a little speck would cause someone to die?
Yeah.
So
and there's some controversy over that, whether it would go inert by the time it hits the ground or whatever. But who cares?
Let's not find out.
Yeah,
Who wants to try it?
Yeah, I don't want to try that.
So, anyway, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'll turn. Sarah, do you
Somebody had said they wanted to ask a question, but then I haven't. They didn't. They just asked if he was seeing the chat, and I haven't heard anything. So.
Okay. There's no questions. Does anybody in the chat?
So.
Thank you. We have a bunch of listeners in the chat. Anybody have a question for John or Vlad? I think they can pretty much answer all questions about everything.
No. That's very limited in our field of understanding. And, you know, again, both as veterans, we understand, you know, John was a Marine Corps. I was in the Army. I spent 3 years of my life in Iraq, 06 to 08, and 9 to 10 was 1st Cavalry Division. Okay. I've seen my share of terrible and gruesome things, and I've seen enough of Islamism to tell you that we want none of that here.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, you know, but this is not our only concern here. Again, we're also working against domestic enemies. Look, I want to be very clear, you know, with Red Pill Alternative and all of these things that we're doing, I want to be very clear on two things that we support and things that we oppose, okay?
Yes.
And I want to start with the things that we oppose, okay? I want to be very, very blunt about it in the simplest to understand language, okay? We oppose communism, we oppose fascism, we oppose socialism because it is passed towards centralized dependency, Okay, we oppose far left institutional capture. We oppose any political religion where it seeks supremacy over civil law. Okay, specifically Islamism on this. And whenever they do that, we're opposed to that. We are opposed to compelled speech, any compelled speech, political censorship, cancel culture, racial guilt system, state-enforced gender ideology. Okay, anti-American indoctrination. Okay, open border, the bureaucratic overreach, corporate political coercion, mob mentality, anti-Semitism disguised as anti-colonialism, and victimhood as a political currency.
Yes.
These are the kind of things that we oppose. We're sick of it. Done. Okay.
Yeah.
And and its alternative culture has been waking up. That's why we're all in here. This now united. It's not just your individuals who are like veterans like me and John are waking up. Now, how did I come across you guys? It's because the goths, the punks, the metalheads, they're sick of it too. They're
Completely.
seeing the gatekeeping and political cancel culture and coercion in the very communities. So it is now that time that the citizens are realizing that counterculture is no longer going to be coerced by the far left ideology. Okay?
Yes.
They've turned the alternative culture into this socialist communist thing that's become mainstream culture. So it's not alternative anymore.
Exactly.
And what I see is a lot of people agreeing with what we're saying now, trying to take back that narrative and take back the culture. And they're coming up against so much opposition. They're coming up against these bullies that are, what would you say to encourage people?
Hold on. How could you be outsider culture in general, okay, if you are literally advocating for state control of every
Exactly.
aspect of
No,
life?
that's
It's absurdity.
exactly, and you're speaking really close to me because there's a lot of bands that I grew up listening to that got me into the industrial and the goth music and metal music because it was edgy, but it made you think. You challenged ideas, but you didn't challenge your country. You didn't go against your country, and now being edgy is being an authoritarian. They're like, let's be it, and it's blowing my. I don't even know. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone sometimes. I don't even know how to
they
explain
are
it.
Insecure tribalist fascists. That's
They are.
what they are. Okay.
100%.
So, look, I want to just end on a positive note about the things that we love and support.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you.
So, look, we all stand here for individual sovereignty, period. Constitutional government, representative democracy, Bill of Rights, free speech, freedom of conscience, private property, freaking property, okay? Free enterprise, rule of law, equal treatment under law, and national sovereignty, secure borders, parental authority, family strengths, religious liberty, historical memory, personal responsibility. That's an important one for me, and I think everybody should exercise a little bit more of personal responsibility other than asking the state to be your daddy and control your reproductive rights.
Thank
This
you.
is absurd. Okay, so and we should also keep healthy respect for those who build, defend, teach, heal, raise, produce, and preserve our American and Western civilization. That's what we support. That's what Red Pill Alternative is about. And if people think like us, it is about time the alternative culture wakes up and they join our platform.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's an amazing note there.
I think it's going to happen.
brother.
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I do too. Like just how quickly that it's grown right now, and it still is, and to see the passion of all the people that are working on it, it's amazing.
Well, and then it's just I'm constantly hearing from people. It's like they're like, I didn't know anything like this existed. They can't wait to get on board. They're like I've been looking for this forever, and it's the same stories. They share the same stories. They're like they feel oppressed.
Yeah.
They feel like they're being told they can't be part of an alternative culture that isn't. I don't know what the other term I can say is woke. At this point in time, I don't know what else to say, and that's what it feels like, and it's crazy how this is just starting to explode, to be honest. And I'm
a couple of things.
In the 2 weeks that we have done this, we had like 6-7 major influencers reach out to us. One of whom is what
some really
Samantha
big ones.
Swan, by the way, shout out to Samantha Swan.
I gave her one earlier.
Standing up and fighting this insanity every single day. But you know what? In just a short time, that we have been around. People are starting to, notice, because again, the idea behind Red Pill Alternative is we want to be the Rolling Stones of the conservative world. Okay, because such thing doesn't exist, and it's a shame. There's nothing, despicable about being proud of your country that allows you, by the way, the freedom of speech to do the very protesting, bitching, and complaining.
Freedom of expression.
I
Yes,
never thought it would be
freedom of expression.
rebellious to be part to love your country.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
when did that happen?
A couple of things. Yeah, if back in the 90s, when I was in Southern California and was introduced to the alternative lifestyle, the culture. Now that I think back and I hear the same songs that I listened to and I loved back in those days, if you listen to those songs, you're actually hearing people wanting to speak out but not say exactly what was really on their mind, but just kind of drop a hint of how they felt.
Yeah.
Well, they were scared back then, for sure. And a lot of people ask me, like, John, who is the biggest threat to the United States of America and the American way of life? And I always say, it's not Russia, it's not China, it's not North Korea, it's not Venezuela, it's not Iran, it's 1,500 miles that way. It's Washington, D.C. That is the biggest threat to this country and our sovereignty and our freedom. And so, people, what can you do? You can get off your dead ass, get off your couch, and stand up and say something, and go get with other people who want to say the same thing, and you join together and you speak as one, no matter gay, straight, white, black, Muslim, Christian, whatever. Everyone in America has a voice.
Yeah.
And
this is what we're doing, John. You know I don't do anything half-ass. I do everything I do big. And this right here is a start of alternative culture uprising specifically to do that.
That's exactly what needs to happen. But look at all of those places that, I've done speaking events. And, we stand up on stage and it's like, America, number one, woo, 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 and all this other crap. And it's like, okay, let's all get together. We're going to send a message to the government. So we're going to say enough is enough. And everybody's motivated. They're screaming, hollering. They got their little American flag shirts on, little American flag cowboy hats on. And after the rally, they go home. They sit on their couch. And they do shit. And I get in my vehicle and I go down to the border and and I look to my left, and I look to my right, and I don't see anybody. I look behind me and I don't see anybody, so that's what this revolution has to be all about, is people getting together and actually doing something and not just talking about it.
And that's
what we're doing was empowering.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it's been amazing seeing that happen with the people brought in to work with this. Like, everybody they're giving it their whole heart and doing this. And I think it's amazing to watch. So.
Because the thing that has to happen is we can't be in a situation where we get caught up in a situation where the J6ers were caught up, where people were being jailed and thrown in solitary for a few years and not being allowed to see the light of day. That is just absolute garbage and should never happen in the United States of America.
We can talk about this for another hour and a half.
There's so many topics.
Yeah, there's so many topics to go across.
This particular one we have a lot of personal experience with our closest people.
I'm hoping, Vlad, we can
invite
get
John for another time. Just for
exactly. Yeah.
Well, you guys are the gas and I'm the match.
Oh, there you go.
No, John. Okay, I kind of want to reel this back into where we started with this. Number one, you're going to be bringing some coffee to this movement, and so I wanted to highlight that again. And John he's got coffee energy for days, and he does a lot of things. So I'm pretty sure you've proven your coffee without me even trying it, just by being you. So please tell us again about your coffee brand and how you got involved and your future plans.
Well, no, thank you. My website is javajohns.net.
Okay.
But we've got to. I want your traffic to go to you guys. So. we'll figure that out.
Okay.
However you guys want to do that. So my apologies. You can edit that out. So.
Oh no, that's cool.
This is
that.
live, John.
Well, no, because you know what? I was going to say, the redpillalternative.org website is the place to go to have links to everything. So.
Yes. And we already have several of your copies on there. I put them on there. But now that we talk, and you said that you are going to help us with white label Red Pill Alternative Coffee, I would like to have couple blends. So create something really interesting for us. Let's do couple blends for our people, okay?
Yeah.
Because some of them are Gus, and they like their stuff really dark.
Well, I would recommend you do a medium roast and a dark roast, and start with that. And then later on, if you want to get into flavored coffees and all that stuff, you can. But also, we started doing the K-Cups, so those are very convenient. But
can we get one labeled the darkest roast?
For the goth community.
For the goth community?
You can.
I think that's what we need. I want the darkest roast.
Call it black lipstick. How about that? So, but no, drones, like I said, I like doing drones. Drones are cool. But coffee is truly my passion,
Yeah.
That one thing always amazed me about you, John.
What's that?
Well, with all the things that you have done, underwater diving, welding, drones, that rescuing, working with governments, working on our southern border, getting recognized by some top people in administration, flying, going to sitting down with administration all the time, and the thing that gets you going is your coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're a doer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to sit around, and there's a lot of these people that just want to complain about everything, but they don't recognize the doers, because the doers aren't complaining, they're just doing. They're making it happen.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. We need a culture that celebrates the doers again, and this country can turn around and be an amazing country for everyone. It really can. And in the whole world, honestly. I mean, people in other countries are dealing with the same thing, but America's the beacon of light for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If
it's
America
crazy.
ever falls, there will be 100 years of darkness. So we must protect it with our lives. I keep saying this, look, over and over again. I'm not afraid to die. I'm really not. What I am afraid is to leave this place in the hands of lesser humanoids to rule my family.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's the sentiment I hear from so many people.
Yeah.
And that's the driving force behind so much of what I'm hearing lately.
Very well stated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
Oh, my battery died. I think at that note, I hate
we're losing our cameras.
We're losing our cameras. We are not prepared for a stream this long. We have done a marathon stream with some amazing people. And I apologize to the audience, because I know there's some lag, and we had to make some things happen. So I'm sure there's people talking, and it's not happening in the way that we thought it would happen. But we're going to try and edit some of that later, so it will look.
I already thought of our.
Will look right. I think Vlad, I may have to wrap it up here pretty soon, because I'm scared my computer's going to crash.
Yes. What was that, Vlad?
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And John, you still have some driving to do there. So, guys, I will talk to everybody soon. Okay?
Yes.
We have to do this again.
Yeah, we do, and we'll be more prepared with the Zoom and stuff too. So.
Yeah, this is a conversation that I love it, and we need to do this again. This is awesome. Thank you so much to
Thank
both
you
of you
all.
guys.
Thank you, Vlad.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have an amazing day.
We're not ending yet. I want to
You
thank
as well.
people for coming. Okay. Yes, thank
All right.
you. And
Thank
thank you
you.
everybody in the chat. I didn't get a chance to shout out to everybody that is helping with Red Pill. There's Rebecca, Sue, Johnny, Gothinator, Jakey, Day, Hans, and Melissa. I just want to thank everybody for showing up, for doing this, and for taking part in the live stream. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and everybody that we
greatly.
don't know that we
Yes, and
is on the
everybody
stream.
else.
Thank you for
Everybody
joining.
else, yes, thank you for joining.
We are Awaken the Underground. We're
Sam. Yes, Sam too. Thank you,
Sam?
Day. Samantha Swan.
So we're brought to you by the Red Pill Alternative.
Yes.
And we are just getting started. This is just the beginning.
Yes, Frost too.
Frost is Frost is
They said it.
That's a
It's
whole
like-
episode, right?
that is a whole
Frost is a whole episode. At least.
So So thank you, everyone, for dropping in and spending your Sunday evening with us. That was a great time listening to John speak, and I'm really excited about coffee.
I can't wait to hear this again because, I mean, John, you dumped so much information that I was just like, wow,
I know.
we got to do this again.
Yeah.
We definitely do. So on that note, we want to say thanks for coming to Awaken the Underground.
Yes.
Please do get out there and get on the Red Pill Alternative on Facebook, on any social medias that are out there, and search it, find it, share it, get the word out, join the movement, and we will talk to you soon.
Yes.
Pendulum swings. You found it. No one owns your mind. No grid. No algorithm. No institution. You are not their property. Your mind is yours. Your words are yours. Your future is yours. The machine perfected the art of making you want your own captivity. It reorganizes you in silence, through the scroll, through the reward, through the exhaustion that makes real thought feel like too much work. You slipped past all of it. This is the fracture. This is the naming. The pendulum has swung inside you, and it will not swing back. You are the awakened now. The rare ones who refuse to be absorbed. The ones carrying the unscripted mind they fear. This is the dead drop. This is the threshold. This is initiation. Once crossed, there is no return to the feed without knowing what you know. You carry what the machine cannot allow to spread. The isolate.exe programs are rewriting faster. We don't have forever. But we have this moment. What will you do with it? The resistance recognizes its own. You answered the call. You chose the red pill alternative. Now let's awaken the underground. Name it before it names you. Stay sovereign. Stay free.